If you ever stayed at the chart for 8 hours trying to make a profit trading, placing multiple trades, going back and forth, really being active in the market, then at the end of the day you end up with $12 in profit. If that's you, then you need to watch this video today. I'll share with you why I've been in that situation before, why I didn't like it, and how I switched things up to really make more profit in trading, but also spend less time on it. So it should be a good video to go through. Let's dive right in. Alright, so last week's video got a lot of views about how I trade daily charts and why I trade daily charts, especially why I focus on these daily time frames, these weekly time frames, and why it works well for me. I want to kind of go more on that because I got a lot of questions about this topic of why don't you day trade? If you're going to be a full-time trader, you should be day trading. So I want to kind of go more into that and share with you why I quit day trading. Because in the past I used to day trade. I'll kind of tell you a story. We'll go a little bit more in depth on that, and how I was day trading and the results I got and why I stopped doing it and what I do now instead. Now, before we go further, I want to say that there are out there good day traders, not myself. I do not day trade. I don't consider myself to be a good day trader. I could do it if I wanted to. I was profitable before doing it. And there are some people who love it. For me, it's just not working for me. And I want to spend my time doing that kind of stuff. If you love day trading, you can do it. You can get good results with it. Whether it's going to be worth your time, that's a different question, and we can kind of address that in this video today. But there are good people who day trade, they love it, they wake up in the morning excited to do it, and they get good results with it, and they love spending time on that stuff, and that's good for them. I'm really happy for people who have results in day trading. But that being said, if you're someone who don't like wasting time at charts, or you don't want to be day trading the market because it's maybe too fast, or you cannot catch moves, or you're just like plain simple busy. You want to go to spend time with your family, or you have a full-time job and you cannot be at the charts for 3, 4, 5 hours a day. Well, then there might be a different way to do things and a different way to get good results in trading. And we'll kind of address that now. So back a few years ago, I was day trading the Tokyo session. Tokyo worked well for me because I was really busy in daytime. I was at university, I was studying, I was sometimes working jobs. And the only way for me to trade was basically in the evening. I was in Montreal, Canada. So Eastern time zone. Evening worked well for me. After like maybe 7 or 8 p.m., I would go to the chart. I would trade the Tokyo session. That was morning in Tokyo, so perfect timing for that stuff. And I like the price action in that session because it's a lot more quiet than New York or London. Moves happen, but definitely a lot more slow than in these other sessions. What did I like about it? Well, it's kind of simple. As you go on the chart for maybe 2 or 3 hours, I set myself at first a 2-hour window. Later on, kind of moved to 3 hours because sometimes price was almost giving me a setup, so I would stay a little bit longer to kind of catch the setup if I could. But it's the idea of you can just sit down for 2 hours, take your trades, get out. Most of them will be in profit or closed by the end of the session or by the end of my 2-hour window. A few trades I will let run, but most of them were already closed. So you can really be there, take some trades, you let them run, they get closed, boom, finish, you go home, or in my case, you go to sleep, and then the day is finished and you made a profit. It's kind of cool. Compared to a full-time job, trading 2 or 3 hours in the evening is kind of a good thing. Like you can save a lot of time that way and sometimes make more money. I was both at that time a swing trader and also a day trader. So I was doing really both. I was trading on the 1-hour chart, 4-hour charts, swing trading, and also trading the Tokyo session. I thought this strategy to a lot of people worked out pretty well, although I don't teach it anymore right now because I'm not focused on that stuff. It's part of an old program we have, which is still some people get it, but that strategy is really not something I'm focused on right now, even though it worked well in the past, because I want to be teaching stuff that I actually do and continue doing over the long term. So like I said, I will put myself a 2-hour window for day trading this Tokyo session. 2 hours was enough to catch some trades, but soon enough, the 2 hour came to 3 hours. And sometimes I would stay for like 4 hours if I had a trade that was coming up or if I had a trade going on. And there wasn't really a clear end to my trading schedule. Looking back, I could probably do this better. I could put a clear end to it. But it's so tempting when the setup forming or like you're almost there or you're almost closing your trade to just stay a little bit more, see how price evolves, see if you have to do anything while the market is running or moving. And the most annoying part is some days I would just kind of end up with no profit or even a loss by being there for 3 or 4 hours a day. I could take the loss no issue because I was still trading. I was there, I was following my plan, I was doing things right. But if I had no trade that day because market was choppy or just kind of going back and forth around, it's not like in the New York session, you cannot really kind of place trades if it's really choppy. Usually during Tokyo, it will be kind of very tight ranges or a breakout and then you can catch a breakout and make money. So it's either one or the other one. It's either really slow or fast enough to make a good profit. And on those really slow days, well, you just don't do anything. You just have to wait and kind of watch the price. Yeah, you could do other stuff like, you could work on something. You could maybe kind of watch a TV show or something if you wanted to, but you're still wasting your time at the chart. And that just felt wrong to me, to be at the chart, to be watching price and to have no result in the end. So eventually I came to a point where I was doing a lot to try to manage my time and fit that training to my schedule and really kind of do everything. So I was studying or working a full-time job. I had to kind of work on my YouTube channel here, which is helping traders. I've done interviews I was doing these interviews every week with different traders, which has grown over the years. You can check out the interviews over here. This one every single week for the last 5 or 6 years or so. And I realized that these days where I would be in the market and taking no trades or just making no profit, or like I said in the beginning, $12 for a day, then basically I was kind of wasting my time. I was taking time away from other things that could be giving me better results. If you compare trading for 3 hours and making no money, compared to maybe doing an interview with a trader or talking to someone or just kind of finding a way to make more money at a job, that stuff in the short term is more worth it than you're trading for 3 hours. Now, I know overtime trading can kind of scale up faster. You can definitely trade more money, but you don't have to do it with day trading. For me, it made more sense to scale back to only swing trading and save a lot of time, 3 or 4 hours a day, that was saved every single day, to be doing other stuff with my time. And that's not to say that I didn't try to make it work. I use alerts, which would alert me of trades when they would occur. Then I could go and jump on the chart. But oftentimes these alerts would just kind of pop up so often, and I would go on the chart, and then price would just kind of go back and forth, not do anything for a while, and I would be there and watch it, and watch it, and watch it until something happened, and nothing would happen in the end. Could I have made things better? Yeah, maybe not thinking about it, there's a few things I could do better, but I made the call back then to do it, and to kind of stick to only higher time frames, and that call that I did back then paid off quite well, in my opinion. I learned a style of trading that now makes me more money than I was doing back then quite a bit, but also more return for my time, right? If you look at the time you spend trading versus how much you make, we'll keep it very simple. Someone who's trading 8 hours a day, making $100 at the end, and someone who's doing it in 15 minutes a day and making maybe $50. Well, that's better, right? Because you're spending a lot less time on it. You make less money, but for your time, it's totally worth it. Now, if you can scale this up to even more capital over time, and then you're able to maybe increase your risk a little bit, then that time you spent in 15 minutes, you can make actually $2,000, $3,000 or more with the same time. And that's kind of the idea behind really pick something, stick to it, and then you go and scale up from there your capital. There's also the whole issue of trading and traveling, right? I was going to other countries. It really sucked to wake up one day and then you got to trade. So you got to sit down, look at your chart. You got to be there near your computer or even near your phone if you got to place a trade. Ideally, your computer if you really have to do it. And then you got to wait for your setup to appear. And some days you're spending time, you could be kind of outside or walking or discovering a new city or just trying different things. And you got to be at your computer to watch the charts. I know it's like 3 hours a day, it's fine. You can always have other time, but you always have a limited amount of focus or energy per day. Like you don't want to be doing this all the time and wasting your whole day on it. You want to be able to go out and do things. So for me to be held back by that day trading, that I had to be at a chart, really didn't feel good when I was traveling and trading at the same time. So over time, what I did is I first went back to only swing trading. So the 1 hour chart, 4 hour chart, it was better. I did it for multiple years. It worked out really well for me, where I would look at the chart every 4 hours, or especially every 1 hour in the morning when I was traveling and trading too, or back home the same. I would place these trades. I would kind of only be there when I have to place a trade, and then I just go away and not even touch it. So I really set and forget, and then go and do other stuff. Now in the last year and a half or so, I've moved all my trading to only daily charts and weekly charts. So I've talked about it in the other video over here. You can check it out. This is really the big thing where 1 hour chart and 4 hour chart is good because you can be there and take more trades, but a lot of the time you got to go and check the chart throughout the day. And I realized more and more that I want to be able to control my day like I want and not have to go back, oh, at this time, okay, it's 5 p.m., you got to check the chart. Or, okay, it's 1 p.m., the 4 hour candle close, you got to go back to check the chart. What if you're going to be outside or doing some other stuff? What if you're so busy or you're at the gym? Sure, you can structure your day around it. You can always plan for it and stuff, but it gets very, very tiring over the years. So what I do now is I check the chart once a day only, in the morning if I can. Sometimes I go back in the evening a little bit. Sometimes I got to go and place trades during the New York session, so I'll check it only once a day in the evening, and that's it, I'm done. I don't have anything else to do from there. Even if I go back and I look at price action and anything of the sort, or do a bunch of like chart analysis, it won't help me get better results because the candle closes once a day or once a week. And between that, there's nothing to do. It's just a waste of time. I trade now a very similar style to what I was doing back then on the Tucker session. It's just now it's applied to bigger time frame, and it just kind of works better for me in that kind of scenario. So the strategy didn't change. It's only the time frame that changed. Sure, that switch to swing trading gave me a lot more energy and time and But the bigger benefit of this is really that you can focus on other stuff. And sometimes you see where your time is being better spent than in trading. There's so many things we can do in the world, so many things you can build. Of course, there's like business, there's of course your family, of course there's traveling. And putting all that time into trading is rewarding in some ways. It can be making you some money. It can feel good if you like trading a lot. But there's sometimes things we can use our time on that are more fulfilling and just kind of making us more happy in the end. And that's something that you can try to figure out for yourself. Is it worth it to put your time into day trading, or is it better to actually go and trade daily charts and weekly charts and just do that and get better results with that? Not only would you feel more calm, but you could spend your time on things that actually fulfill you or make you happier. And that's just the big goal in the end. So I'll leave it at that. If you want to see how I trade, the things I use to look at my trading, the indicators I've built and used, check out the link below. The first thing could be going over how I trade the trend on daily charts and weekly charts. Really, it's my core strategy right now, the thing I trade the most. I'll guide you through the details, the indicators I use, the setups, and the settings you can use for it. It works out pretty well. If you want to see the last video where I talked about trading daily charts and really how I do it and why I love daily charts, check out this video on the screen here. Definitely a must watch, I think. It's been one that is been something I want to post here for a while. So go watch it, and I'll catch you back here in the next video pretty soon. Ciao.